Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. We have breaking news today that the Ford F-150 Lightning, pricing is going up again. It's nearly 50% higher than was first offered just a couple years ago. But prices may drop soon again. And if you're shopping for a Ford Lightning, take a time out. Watch this video. Don't buy right now is my advice. And let me show you why in this video, why you need to hold off. And maybe we're going to see EV pricing come back to reality a little bit. Maybe not. Let's dig into this. So first of all, we're going to start with autonews.com. So it's right here if you don't follow them, autonews.com, because resource says Ford again increased in price some models of F-150 Lightning electric pickup. Base model now starting at $61,869, including shipping, up 50% over the initial starting price. Remember the starting price is like below $50,000? Or that's just ridiculous. Or under $40,000, excuse me. I always thought that was kind of bait and switch going on, and here we go. Here's some realistic, more pricing. I think this makes more sense. And reopened production after they found about 8 or 9 trucks caught fire, and S&K, the battery maker, made some changes, and they've fixed that problem. The automaker said the price of the Lariat standard range model will jump from $76,000 to $77,000, while the Platinum model will jump from $98,000 to $99,969. All prices include an $1,895 shipping charge. The Lightning Pro, the cheap one, remains sold out for retail customers. Ford said order banks for commercial buyers will reopen in mid-April. Ford said the price result of current material costs, market factors, and supply chain constraints. They restarted Lightning production on a limited basis earlier this month after a 5-week pause. They recalled 18 vehicles. So they had 18 vehicles. Now remember, we've done some stories on this in the past. They are trying to get production up to 200,000 units a year, and they're building a new T3 Ford truck. The new electric truck is going to happen in the Blue Oval City there in Kentucky. But that is not all the news that I have for you in this video, because that'd be like 2 minutes of video. That's not very good. You barely get in the video. So let's go ahead and start. Let's go look at Ford.com and see what it shows on the build and price page. And you can kind of see those numbers they talked about. Now, this includes $1,800 of the dealer destination fee as well. So you can see $63,474. When you do extended range, which is upwards of 300 miles, you get $80,000 for an XLT. $80,000. It's a lot of money, guys. And Platinum only comes extended range. Larry, you can get separately. So why is this happening? Well, if you look at different mining.com, for example, different sites in the industry, you will see that the value of battery metals, the newly sold EVs, tripled on rampant lithium and nickel pricing. So this is the materials, the raw metals they use to build batteries, and those prices just skyrocketed over the past year. And you can see where, look, the EV metal index. This is lithium, graphite, cobalt, nickel. Ding, 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 ding. So you know it's going to happen, right? So increased demand. They didn't have a supply. They created more mines to create more supply. We have turmoil with Europe, with the Ukraine war. And then so that's led to this massive spike, which is massive spike in pricing as well. If you remember the story I did a while ago on the Ford Lightning, the replacement battery cost on one of the Lightnings I had for a press loan was about $35,000 just for the battery. And that's because lithium pricing is so high. And we can see this one more time in the story on Reuters.com. It talks about the lithium prices could slide. And this is a curveball. This is your curveball coming. Lithium prices could slide because China made a change. And most people know by now China owns the market for battery, for lithium production and overall battery production, which created some fears among my friends and things that China could really screw us over, which, well, they really could. So so there's a Chinese battery giant KTL has told automakers to accelerate the plunge in lithium pricing, the rare discounts. And the reason why this really busted, the bubble busted, was that China stopped giving incentives. So the turning point for lithium prices came late last year as electric vehicle demand in China slowed sharply ahead of Beijing's planned halt to subsidize for an $87 billion industry. So subsidies were propelling this industry forward, and then they quit, and you can see where things dropped off a cliff. It's right here. Chinese EV monthly production and sales. They were getting close to almost 800,000 units, 700, 800,000, selling just that many, and then boom, subsidies dropped out, pricing went straight down, which is what my point of view on this industry is. Let's stop subsidizing. Let's actually see what the industry is, because we're artificially inflating the industry we want to see what it actually can do, what people actually want from these vehicles. And so that's a 63% drop. And so what that has done, and this is another chart down here as I go through, is you can see lithium carbide prices in China. And this matches kind of globally prices I saw as well as other stories. You can see where pricing was kind of low, and then we have COVID happening, so demand dropped. We didn't have demand. We didn't have the demand for gas, for lithium batteries, nothing. That demand dropped. That started spiking because we started getting more EVs in the marketplace. As these EVs started going up, we saw this massive spike that was going to be 600,000 yen, I think is what they're calling this, per ton, and that happened right about January or right about November, December, and then as we get in 2023, when again China killed their subsidies, we saw a massive drop in lithium pricing. So we're seeing a massive drop. Miners still think they have enough profitability at that dollar per ton that they can make a dollar. They can make money, so they can stay in business. And so, yeah, we're seeing this drop back to earth, not quite down where we want to, though. So this has created some interesting stories, interesting stuff going on. And so I thought it'd be interesting to go to cars.com and pull up 4 lightnings within, like, I think 500 miles of me. And it's interesting to see these price drops, 19,000 down 14,000. You're looking at, there's another one here I thought was down 8 or 9,000. So yeah, MSRP, they're selling right at MSRP, down $523, down $900. You're seeing overall drops. So you're seeing pricing come still up a little bit. This is still $3,000 more for this Lightning Lariat, but you're going to see those prices start to come down, I think, a little bit as, again, market economics, right? So more supply, demand. We see a reduction in lithium and metal pricing. We'll start sending that price down a little bit. But again, that chart, remember, it didn't go all the way back down to where it was because with overall demand globally from the United States, from Europe, from all these places, we're not going to see that number go all the way back down to where it was in 2020 or 2019, especially 2020 during COVID. So we're going to see that number stay higher. You're going to pay a little more lithium, which means your hybrids, your plug-in hybrids, your straight EVs are going to still cost more because the battery is the majority of the cost in those vehicles. They don't have engine transmissions. They still have quite a bit of battery cost in there. So what's that mean for you, the consumer? So we're seeing dealers who dropped the price, and a lot of those dealers were just bad actors. They had raised pricing way high. They did the dealer markups. Now they're bringing it back down to life. They can't get the price. We're seeing supply going to start growing. The Lightning supply is probably going to grow a little bit as the prices kind of fluctuate a little bit. As we get any industry, this happens all the time, demand and supply. So if you're looking for a Ford F-150 Lightning, my advice to you is to just take a time out, give it a couple months, see what happens in lithium pricing, see what happens in cobalt and different metals. Let's see what goes on with that. See if that comes back down a little bit more as China has artificially inflated the market, and now they're de-inflating it by not offering subsidies. See if the pricing comes back down. You may save a substantial amount of money. We're talking big money, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, if that pricing comes all the way back down and you can hold off. Now, Ford's going to have to put incentives on these at some point and drop the price because as they build more in the factory, they're going to have more supply. And if the pricing stays high and they have more supply, interest rates are high, I could see Lightning sitting around. Not that you're seeing a lot of negative PR on YouTube right now. Lightning isn't a bad truck, bad vehicle, I would call it more actually. It's not a bad vehicle. It gets around town. I saw one with a topper in Fort Collins last week, and it was doing the job. The guy was a home repair kind of guy. Topper, fantastic. Worked for him. Works for fleets. The challenge comes in from the consumer standpoint of how long does it take to charge on road trips and how far you can tow. Those are the two big questions. Also, what happens in the wintertime. Most people are going to charge at home anyway, so the public infrastructure charging is kind of ridiculous. It's not even a topic, but it's not a bad vehicle. It's too expensive, and if we get pricing going back down and we get consumers who are going to be more aware of what their daily driving is going to be and only use that vehicle for that specific needs, I think we're going to see it's a good fit. But again, we're going to have gas and oil for a long period of time. But I'm going to be curious to watch that supply go up and go back down. And Ford and all automakers are always going to be a couple months behind, maybe 6 to 9 months behind because supply chains. So their suppliers are charging them more right now. But again, in a couple months, when suppliers are charging them less because pricing goes back down, they'll want to get that price point back down to where it was because a lot of people have reservations that wanted the Ford Lightning at that lower price. They can't get one. Those are the things going on. So put your comments down below. Be curious what you guys think. Also check out videos over here. Website down below as well. Pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.